Football contest sign-up season is here, and you don't want to miss out on the action. With millions of dollars on the line each and every week in the world's biggest football contest, there's only one proxy to trust, footballcontest.com. Maddie and Tony have set the gold standard for football contest proxy services with 20 years of experience and over 13 million in winnings for their clients. All you have to do is get to Vegas between now and the start of football season to sign up in person, and they do the rest, making sure your picks are entered every week. Whether you want to play in the Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, Super Contest Gold, or the new Super Contest College Contest, Maddie and Tony have you covered. Their new website has everything you need to know about these football contests and more, including how you can reserve the best proxy in the business. Experience matters, so go with the pros at footballcontest.com, the gold standard proxy service.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rock and dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
It's Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles and Alex White.
Good morning. Welcome in. It is Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio. Happy to be with you. It is the end of the week. It is a Friday edition. I'm Jeff Parles. She is Alex White. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning. Very excited. I have a lot of plays I'm ready to break down.
Will they all
on a Friday.
Will they all make the board?
Typically, no. I like to narrow it down here, and then as we go through it, I narrow it down to like 4 or 5.
I count roughly 25.
8 to 10.
No, not quite. That's all good, regardless. Vinny Magliulo will be back in the saddle about a half hour from now. Good to see Vinny back with us. We'll talk some football, some hoops, pretty much the whole shebang with Vinny in 30 minutes from now. But we can begin in baseball here on a Thursday. We'll go over some home run derby futures a little bit later in the hour after the Cardinal Brave game that we talk about here. So a few games down the board because, of course, Atlanta's hosting the home run derby in the All-Star game next week, and Ronald Acuna Jr. in the home run derby, despite not playing a ton this year. But we begin in Cincinnati, and boy, we get to start with the Rockies. Really, we had to have the Rockies be the first game in the rotation numbers. Come on, guys. Chase Burns, German Marquez. We've talked about Burns in his limited major league outing so far. It has been mostly a struggle after the immediate burst on the scene in that start with against the Yankees, and then it was one bad inning, and it really hasn't recovered since. There's a question in Boston of if he was tipping his pitches or not.
Right.
So a slow start for a guy who is going to be awesome, and it just will take some time for Burns against a guy who has been anything but awesome this year, and a team that is again on a historic pace to shatter the White Sox ineptitude of last year. The Rockies, after getting obliterated in Boston midweek, where the closest game was 9-3, 10-2, 10-2 in Fenway. The Rockies, Alex, are now 21-72. They're 34.5 games behind the Dodgers. They are 24.5 games out of fourth place in the National League West. Minus 240 on Burns and the Reds, total 9.5 in this one.
And with all that being said, I mean, minus 240 for the Reds with a rookie is pretty crazy here. I do think that is a little bit too high, but clearly the Reds are the better team. If Chase Burns is going to figure things out and kind of find his rhythm in the bigs, I think this is a good lineup to go against. I was looking at the Reds team total that did make their first board, but I don't know if I'm going to bet it. The books are on to us. It is 5.5, so that is a pretty high number here with the Reds offense that has been very streaky this whole first half. So that's the way I would look at it. Marquez has been okay. I mean, he did give up 6 to the White Sox, but if you look at his starts before that, he was on a nice little streak. Went 5 2/3, gave up 2 to Milwaukee, 4 against the Dodgers, no earned runs in that one, and then no earned runs against the Nationals. So was pitching okay before that White Sox, and that was at home. But, I mean, even at his splits, they aren't great on the road. His ERA is actually higher than it is at home. So that doesn't give me a lot of confidence here. I don't love the full game over. I mean, I would just look to back the Reds, but I don't want to lay that huge number, and I'm at 5.5 is a little high.
90 degrees in Cincinnati, wind negligible, barely blowing 3 miles an hour. So hot, a little bit humid, good hitting conditions again on a total of 9.5. If we saw a 9, it would be a no-brainer, but I would be shocked. Well, actually, one book's got a 9 minus 22, so maybe you can look if you're outside of Nevada, you can go bet that 9 in this one with Cincinnati and Colorado. All right, let's go to Milwaukee next. Brewers have taken over the number 1 wild card slot after their sweep of the Dodgers midweek. It'll be Priester and Parker, the battle of the P's here in this one. $2 favorites, Milwaukee. That is a big price. Now, Mitchell Parker in April, as we talked about, Alex, a lot was a good bet on, and since then has really fallen by the wayside, to put it politely. And he has been bad away from home as well. An ERA north of 5, and a whole run and a half higher on the road than in Nats Park. Now, granted, also, well, here's the other issue: 15 less innings on the road, and that ERA he's only given up. He's given up 1 more earned run on the road than he has at home this year. So it's been a struggle for Parker everywhere, but especially on the road. Priester's been more than serviceable for Milwaukee this year, Alex.
Yeah, he has, and his median numbers look pretty good, going 5 innings, 1 earned run, just 4 strikeouts to 2 walks, but I still think that number is a little bit too high here on the Brewers. I'm actually tempted to do something that I really have not done this entire year, and that is to actually take the run line with the Nats. I think they can keep it close here. I actually think that 8.5 is a little too high, so if it's a lower scoring game, I think the Nats could be in it till the end. So Nats plus 1.5, minus 120 here at the South Point. I think that's actually a really good number here. I don't want to fully commit, jump in, take that plus 180 for them to win the game, but I like that spread for them to keep it within 1.
I think that's the first time you've done that for a full game this year on the show. You've done the take the half run first 5, but I don't think I can remember a full game taking the run and a half, but that's the look for Alex here with this one. So there you go for the Nats and the Brewers. All right, let's go to St. Louis next. Cardinals and Braves. Start with the game first. Grant Holmes, Matthew Liberatore, 2 inconsistent young guys on the bump here, total of 9. This has been I don't know why this has happened a lot the last few days. There's been a whole lot of movement to just get back to the opening number by the time the show starts, Alex. Open Cardinals -20, got as high as Braves -20. Now we're back to the Cardinals -20. I don't know what everyone's doing here. Total's been bet up a half run in this one from 8.5 to 9 in St. Louis tonight. The weather in Kansas City stinks, but that's on the other side of the state. St. Louis, it is hot. It is humid. 92 degrees with the wind blowing out. So that makes sense that total's gone up a half run.
And that keeps me up to that first 5 under 4.5 because I thought that was just a little bit too high. Both of these guys, their median number is 2, and I really don't trust either lineup, especially the Braves. And they are seeing another lefty, and we talked about it yesterday because they struggled against Jeffrey Springs. They struggled against JP Sears, and then they went into extra innings. So I think the Cardinals is probably the right side, but now here, -120, I'm definitely not playing that. If I was getting plus money, I was actually going to wait and see if more money came on the Braves, if I could get better than plus 105, but here we are. So now this is definitely a stay away for me.
I'm going to completely stay off of this. There's nothing to realistically be had in this one. And I'll just tell you this with the Braves. It is sell, baby, sell at this point at the trade deadline. It's just a matter of what's the biggest piece that they would be willing to move. We talked about Sale earlier in the week. The injury, I think, makes that a little bit complex. Sean Murphy makes a lot of sense. And of course, they're one of their 2 backstops, especially in a year where Drake Baldwin has performed when he's been asked to play. Maybe you see Murphy get moved. But a lot, I don't see Ozuna getting moved or Profar. Profar is an interesting one, but again, ineligible for the postseason. How intriguing is that for anybody else?
Right.
Because of the PED suspension. Obviously, Acuna, Olsen, Riley, Albies, Harris, none of those guys, Strider, none of those high-end guys are getting moved off of one bad 90-game stretch for Atlanta. Let's look at the home run derby real quick, Alex, because Ronald Acuna Jr. is in the field, of course. The format now is that you get the top, it's all 8. The top 4 advance to the semifinals. Then it gets bracketed 1 through 4. I'm a little bit surprised by O'Neal Cruz being the favorite. Now, we know this is an event that probably is built for the way Cruz hits. Just go out and hit the ball as hard as you humanly can. We know O'Neal Cruz, one of the hardest hitters in Major League Baseball. But I think there's a little bit of disrespect for 2 of the guys actually on the bottom half here. If Buxton doesn't injure himself in this event, which anytime Buxton takes the field, I'm terrified just because of his injury history. This event is a good event for Buxton. Now, granted, it's a little bit easier to hit as a left-handed hitter in this ballpark than it is right-handed. It's not a huge advantage, but it is still easier for the left-handed hitter. That's why you see James Wood at 6-1. That's why you see Raleigh and Cruz as your 2 favorites. Raleigh is going to hit left-handed in this event. Rooker is a little bit undervalued to me, but shop around for better prices. These are all via DraftKings. My pick is James Wood. I'm sticking with what I said when he was announced into the field. The kid is incredible. If he was on a better team, we would be hearing even more about him. The kid is going to be a star in Washington and wherever else he plays in his career. I like 6-1. I also like that +2. Again, they smartly cut those odds down on to make the final. I'd rather have the Wood 6-1. Shop around, see if that number gets higher as the weekend goes along.
I can't make a pick just yet. I need the
Wait
weekend.
till Monday.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I really do like this field. I feel like it's almost younger than normal, right?
It
Yeah.
is.
So should be a lot of fun here.
Yeah, definitely slam dunk contest-ish. The only confusion is, I don't know why, I guess Chisholm is in it because no one wanted that 8th slot. Caminero has had
I think it fits right in there.
Yeah, look, not a bad ballpark for his swing. Caminero has had an amazing season. Him and Aranda both in Tampa. Nice to see Caminero getting a recognition to get in this field as well. All right, moving along. Let's go to San Diego next. Big series with the Padres and the Phillies. Padres, both of our plays from that game got there yesterday.
Yes.
Game went under. Padres end up winning 4-3. So that was good. This is, again, Ryan, you can go with the standings graphic here. Tight in that NL from really right now. It's 8 teams for 6 slots at the current moment. Well, Cincinnati is technically within 3, but really it's St. Louis, San Diego on the outside looking in, and then the 6 that currently hold slots entering the weekend's action. Phillies lead the Mets by a game and a half. They didn't play yesterday and picked up a game with the Mets losing both ends of the double dip in Baltimore. Padres with that was an important win yesterday for San Diego they are able to split the 4-game series against Arizona.
Yeah.
They've won the 2 low scoring games. It's kind of how it's been with San Diego. Their hitting has just been completely inconsistent over the last 2 months now. Alex, it's minus 60 on the Phils tonight with Ranger Suarez, Bergert on the other side at plus 145, total of 8. That is a big price on San Diego at home for me. I would be the only look, even though it is a nice, a sizable advantage on the pitching for Philadelphia in this one.
I've been talking about Ranger Suarez all year, and he's almost like unhittable right now. So I love this side with the Phillies. I could be wrong. I was wrong about the Padres at home yesterday against the Diamondbacks, but I think this is a good spot for the Phillies. And I mean, both these teams, like you just showed with the standings, they're not going to be just waiting for the All-Star break and, kind of turning it off until then, taking a little break. These two, it's very important, this game here. So I like this side with the better pitcher, kind of a bullpen game for the Padres. I'm going to lay the 1.5. It's even money. I think that's a great price there. And I'm going to probably split it up and take the money line as well. I also think that total is too high. I do think the pitchers, these young pitchers that the Padres are going to throw at the Phillies, could do pretty well here. So I think that's too high. But yesterday was a sweat with that under. So I'm going to stay off of that one and see how this first game goes in this series.
Yeah, 8 again with a pitcher like Bergert on the other side. Just careful.
Yeah.
Careful on that total. But again, it would only be, that is a big price on San Diego. But again, Suarez ERA sub 2, the 1-2 puncher. Well, really 1-2-3 punch in Philadelphia when you include Sanchez, obviously Wheeler, now essentially co-favorites in the NL Cy Young race. All right, we go to LA next, we go to San Francisco next for the Dodgers and the Giants. And again, the Dodgers are in the midst of a monster funk right now. 6 straight losses. They've only realistically been competitive in one of those 6 as well. They lose the finale in Milwaukee. Again, they can't score right now. Just so odd to see with that lineup that they've only gone over 3 runs once in these last 6 games. Brewers only needed 3 to beat them twice. It's Logan Webb Day in San Fran. It's Webb and May. Webb is minus 30, Alex, plus 15 on Dusty May on the other side, and a low total, no shock here at 7.5.
I actually don't have Logan Webb or the Giants on my card right here, but that is the way that I am leaning. I'm just a little worried that, because even beat writers from LA were saying the Dodgers were one of those teams that were just ready for a break, ready for All-Star weekend, and then, get ready, focused for the second half. So that concerns me. But then again, I mean, this is a huge series for them. So it could have been a little bit of a look ahead. I think they will be ready for this one. They also get Hernandez back in the lineup, as well as Tommy Edmonds. Still no Max Muncy, who has actually been one of their best and strongest hitters this year. So that does concern me still on that side. Again, lean to Logan Webb, maybe played in the first 5. Just kind of avoid the end there. But Dustin May has been pretty good as well. So nothing strong for me in this one. I kind of want to see how this first game goes as well.
Yeah, this is, again, for the Dodgers, they built up the lead, but it's only it's down to 5 after this was as big as 9.5 just less than a week ago, and now 5.
Yep.
Compacting again in the National League. All right, let's go to Boston. Red Sox, Rays. Game 1 of this series a night ago, and the Red Sox continued their winning ways. The Red Sox are back in this thing in the AL wildcard chase. They've taken over the number 3 wild card after what was really just a disgusting loss for the Mariners yesterday. No other way to put it.
Oh, my gosh.
End up losing in extras. But Boston now only a half game behind Tampa. So this is all the AL East controlling 4 of the 6 playoff spots at the current moment. Minus 110 tonight with Dobbins against Rasmussen and a total of 9 and an even money line spread here, Alex.
I think this is actually one of my favorite plays of the day. I took it last night. I liked it so much. I laid the minus 102 with Tampa Bay on the road here. I think that this is a big pitching advantage. Now, the thing with Rasmussen is he's already hit 89 pitches. They only wanted him to have 150 on the year. So they're going to have him start. He'll probably pitch 2, maybe 3 innings, but he's definitely on a pitch count. Then who's coming in? Joe Boyle, who we all know Joe Boyle pretty well. He was with the Athletics for 2 years. Throws very hard, averages 98, his fastballs, and can touch 100. So I think with that combination, especially with it being Tampa Bay, and we've seen this from them before, they've kind of started the whole bullpen games. I think that they've had this plan. So I like that side. We have not seen Hunter Dobbins for a while now. He's had 1 rehab start, but he hasn't pitched since June 20th. I think that Tampa Bay's lineup can get to him here. So even though it's a coin flip, I think that's a great price here on the 2 better pitchers.
Minus 110 on Boston, minus 105 on Tampa, total 9 at Fenway tonight. All right, SKUBAL Day, final one before the All-Star game, which probably will start. Let's be real, even though, I guess it's technically, it's 3 days. Maybe we won't even see SKUBAL in the All-Star game, unfortunately, because of the amount of time in between. But we'll see. Minus 250 on him tonight with Elise Castillo. Again, Mariners just go to New York, get swept. Yesterday was absolutely brutal. 5-0 lead. They managed to blow it, lose in extras. And now your reward for that is you get 3 against the best team in the American League and the best pitcher on the planet at the moment. This is, again, giant price on the Seattle end, but I'm not interested in taking it against SKUBAL. How the hell are they going to hit him, Alex? Total of 7 as well in this game.
It is really tough. It's a tough handicap here. And on the Seattle side, I think that might have been my worst loss ever. I probably will remember that one.
It was a bad one.
With Brian Wu had a no-no. He just needed 6 outs. They're up 5-0. And Attila chimed in, and I appreciate it. He did say that Seattle closer Munez was tipping his pitches. Yeah. So if that's the case, too, that's even more brutal. But I'll be keeping up with the chat if anybody else wants to chime in. See Dean Hilton, Roger Long in there as well. But I kind of want to take a little shot here with the Mariners. I know that is a brutal way to lose a game, but plus 210, I mean, that is a big price here. I'm not going to bet a lot on that. I'm going to do the same exact thing that I'm doing with the Nationals. I'm taking that plus 1.5 here, minus 110. The total 7, I think that is correct. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. And I do like the way this Mariners lineup can hit on the road. So it's going to be tough if SKUBAL goes, 7 or 8. It's like you said, how are they going to hit him? But maybe they'll take him out a little bit earlier for All-Star game. I don't think they care, but we'll see. I'm just going to take a shot here. Take that 1.5.
Yeah, that's twice now.
Yes,
twice. First. Haven't done it all year. Twice in 7 games for the dog getting a 1.5 for the full game for Alex White. Tigers entering today's action with the best record in baseball, 24 games over 500 in the number 1 seed in the American League and in complete command in the AL Central, as we know, 13 games clear of the second place Minnesota Twins. Or excuse me, actually the Kansas City Royals amazingly in second place right now in the American League Central. All right, speaking of more American League Central.
Tied with the Rangers there?
Well, that's the Rangers in the West, of course.
Yes. You're talking, sorry.
Yeah, talking Central there. How about 2 teams that are not playing well in the Central? One is at the bottom of the standings, and even with the win, even with the sweep in Houston, Cleveland still currently in 4th in the division. Double dip today after the rain out last night in Chicago, Alex. So
yes.
This is one of those, if you're in Vegas, just make sure you're betting the correct game. The right-in game is the early game today, which is Allen and Smith, which is basically a coin flip game in this one. Total of 9, minus 110 on Cleveland. That has been a monstrous move towards the White Sox here. And then game 2 is Cannon and Williams. which is minus 120 on Cleveland with a total of 8. Alex, any thoughts on either game in Chicago here today?
No. So this one, as you're saying, Jeff, rotation number 515, 516. I'm definitely staying off of this one with Williams and Cannon. I kind of have a lean in that first one, but we'll get to that at the end there. So
you can go ahead right now if you want, if you have the lean.
Well, I do have a lean to the under here with the total being 9 with Shane Smith, and we have talked about him a lot. I am a little concerned with Logan Allen on the other side, but I think he can pitch well enough here, and I don't trust either lineup. So I think 9 is really high number here. I mean, it is an earlier game, so definitely have to check the weather on that. But
yeah, I'll get you real quick on that weather. Chicago today for game 1, it is hot and the winds cross. So 85, crosswind, humid. Yeah, pretty reasonable hitting conditions. Even though, again, we like Smith on the White Sox side. Him and Burke have been the two guys who are like, all right, you can take your shots on them, even though, again, you look at Smith's numbers, they look pretty ugly. But, again, look at the rest of the rotation. Gavin Williams has really actually pitched well of late in the other game.
Yeah.
I would actually look to Cleveland first 5 with Williams and, honestly, probably full game. But, again, I need to see who's playing in the second game. It's just so hard to bet these second games at double dips before the first one's completed. We'll see how it goes. But Williams has pitched a lot better than those numbers indicate, especially over his last 3 starts. And he was great. He was pitch per pitch with SKUBAL on Sunday. It's just that Cleveland blew that game on a ridiculous wild pitch. All right, we go to the Battle of the State of Texas. Up next, Jack Leiter, Lance McCullers. Your pitching matchup. Houston, as you see, second best record in the American League, up to 7-game lead on the Mariners after the Mariners' hellish week, even though the Astros didn't pick up any ground because of what Cleveland did to them in the midweek. Minus 20 on McCullers, total of 8 in this one, Alex.
I want to keep going here with the Rangers. Their lineup has been so good. I was on the team total yesterday. Now we're getting 3.5 here today against Lance McCullers. I think they'll be able to score on him. Looking at his numbers, he did have a really good start against the Dodgers. Kind of when it started their downfall here and their streakiness offensively. But before that, he pitched really well against the White Sox, Pittsburgh. Yeah, and he did have a bad one there against the Cubbies, I have to mention too. Here's the other thing though. Jack Leiter has already seen this lineup, and he had a no-hitter going. Now, this is very early in the year. This is May. But I think he can do it again here with the Astros. I think that Texas is the right side. If you're going to pick a side, I like that plus 105, and I like their team total. But I think I like their team total even more. I think they can get to McCullers, and then I don't really have to worry about if the Astros can get to Leiter the second time.
I would go Houston at minus 20 on this price. That's a pretty cheap price, all things considered, at home where it's not a distinct pitching advantage for Texas either.
They are pretty even.
Yeah, it's a little surprising at this price. I know Houston just had a bad series against Cleveland, but that's a good price on the Stros at home, minus 120. That would be a look for me on that one. All right. We go to Sacramento next. Hot. 101 degrees at first pitch here tonight in West Sacramento. We'll get down into the mid-90s by mid-game. Oh, and by the way, the wind's blowing out as well to dead center. That's why we see an 11 here tonight at Sutter Health Park. It's Scherzer and Severino. We've talked about Sevy all year at home. He's been great on the road. He's been terrible in Sacramento. He's already complained about having to pitch there. Alex, it's Scherzer on the other side. By the way, Blue Jays minus 60. I wish this was 10.5. I would be all over it. 11, even money. Yeah, it would still probably be an over with Sevy's struggles, especially with the fact that the Jays, in the middle of this hot streak, even with their loss last time out, A's walked off the Braves last night to finish off a series win against Atlanta.
I mean, that is the only way you can play it. I definitely trust both offenses more than I trust both pitchers. And poor Severino, because yes, he did have great splits at first, but now he's really just struggled everywhere. I mean, he's gave up 5 to the Yankees and 7 to the Tigers. So I think he might be in his head now from pitching there. And on the other side, I think that the Athletics will be able to get a run or two against Scherzer. And so the only way to play it is over. I'm probably not going to, because that is such a high number, but might end up being the easiest play on the board.
Yeah, 11 is high, but again, we're seeing this in this ballpark. I mean, these conditions are insanely good for hitting. 100 degrees, wind blowing out the dead center. Can't do much better than that for hitting conditions. All right, up next, we go to interleague. Let's go to Baltimore. Dean Kramer, Edward Cabrera, your pitching matchup. The Red Hot Fish against the Orioles, who took 2 games yesterday off the Mets in the double dip. Minus 35 on Baltimore. Total of 9 at Camden Yards tonight to wrap up the first half.
This one is a complete stay away for me. I think those numbers are all just right. Orioles minus 135 at home, and that total I think is a good number there at 9.
It's easy enough for me. I'll move to the next game very happily because it's a big time one with the Yankees and the Cubs at Yankee Stadium. Chris Flexen has been shockingly great for the Cubs this year. Now, this will be his first start. Flexen has had a history of being a starter. He's been much, much better in this middle relief length role. I mean, just look at those numbers. He's been awesome, and 5 wins out of the bullpen on top of it. Against Carlos Rodon, who was named to the All-Star team today, replacing Max Fried, who's going to start on Sunday for the Yankees. It's minus 180 first 5 on Rodon, and it's also minus 180 for the full game. So the price is the exact same. Total of 9 in the Bronx tonight. The Yankees, of course, coming off the sweep of the Mariners, and the Cubs salvaged the final game in that 3-game series in Minneapolis.
You say Max Fried is pitching Sunday?
Or tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Because I was going to say, I am excited to see this matchup here tomorrow with Boyd versus Fried, those 2 lefties. This one here, I agree with you. It's kind of tough to handicap. We don't know how Flexen is going to be in that starting role. I would assume he keeps it going here. It's just really tough because this Yankees lineup continues to stay hot. I mean, I went over the numbers yesterday, but 289 average as a team, 335 on base percentage, and 142 WRC plus. I am kind of worried about the Cubs hitting a lefty still, so I want to see this one first. I really don't have any strong plays. Cubs, Yankees.
The weather at Yankee Stadium is just normal summer conditions. Low 80s. It is humid. It is going to move into the high 70s humidity wise, so we'll play a little bit hotter. Wind is crosswind. So it is a pretty typical humid summer night in New York. That's why you see the 9, even with Rodon. Rodon got clobbered his last time out by the Mets. But again, Cubs offense will probably, even though you said they've been worse against lefties than righties, still a high-end offense one way or another.
Well, that is what's crazy. I mean, overall on the year, the numbers definitely don't say that. They are 6 OPS, but remember how hot they did start. It's just been as of late a little bit against those lefties.
Up next, we go to Minnesota. Ryan and Skenes, good pitching matchup in Minneapolis tonight. Minus 35 on Joe Ryan. It's been all Twins action here. 20-cent move here at the point on this one. The total also opened 6.5 and got bet to 7, which I think was proper as well. Do we want that plus price on Paul Skenes, or we just staying away because we know the Pirates don't want to score for him?
I don't know. That is pretty tempting there. I wasn't even looking at the side. I am on that total here. I love going under 7 full game. First half, do you see anything besides 3s?
Just 3.
Because I even checked last night thinking maybe we'd get that hook. It's just been 3 here. I'm going under the 3 first 5 as well. Might even do an alternate here between these 2. I mean, just both pitchers have been so good. And we've talked about this Pirates lineup. They're definitely one of the worst in the league, if not the worst in the league. And Joe Ryan has been awesome. So consistent for the Twins team. So I'm not expecting a ton of runs in this one. And I do not have anything on the side. I think minus 120 is probably right. So getting plus 120 is not good enough there.
Yeah, 7 feels pretty good, right? On a full game in this one. I see plus 120 with Skenes. I actually think they finally priced a Skenes game correctly here.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that I actually want Skenes here today at plus 120. But again, Pirates just have not scored at all for Paul Skenes this year. All right, let's go to Kansas City next. Kodai Senga makes his return after a month on the IL for the Mets. Mets pitch rotation getting healthier. Looks like Sean Manaea is going to make his season debut on Sunday as well. So a little bit better for New York after a bad day in Baltimore yesterday. It'll be MILWAUKEE, a former Met, on the other side. There is concerns about getting this game in Kansas City here today. Pretty typical Missouri weather day for the summer where it's hot as all blazes, it's humid as all blazes, and there's a chance of a significant thunderstorm. Just a matter of the timing here for when those come. Senga's a minus 30 favorite. I'm just curious on the length for Senga here. Again, the Mets didn't love pushing him to begin with through the beginning of the year. But when Senga pitched, Senga had the best ERA in the National League before he got hurt.
Yeah.
Now doesn't qualify because of the lack of innings. I would stay off of this just because I don't know what length I'm getting out of Senga. And I also don't know what exactly I'm getting in the first start back off the IL.
I agree with you. I know he did struggle in his rehab, but I do think he can pitch well here. We've seen it time and time again from these elite pitchers, and I think he'll be okay, especially against this Royals offense who have started to come on here as of late and definitely put up some runs, but I think he'll be okay. I think it's a complete stay away. Maybe this is good for the Mets, and they can kind of turn it on from here because, yesterday was kind of brutal. I did end up taking their team total over 4.5 in that second game. So maybe this is good for their whole team morale, getting some starters back.
Senga's only pitched into the seventh inning twice this year as well, so don't expect a lot of length in the Met bullpen that is currently decimated between injury and just over-pitching as well. All right, last one, Anaheim. Angels and Diamondbacks to wrap up the first half for these two teams. Anderson and Nelson, your pitching matchup here tonight at the Big A. Arizona opened minus 120, got as high as minus 130. Now it's basically a flip here at Angels Stadium with a total of 9.5 that hasn't moved, Alex.
I really like the Diamondbacks on this one. Ryan Nelson has been so good. He has a couple bad starts, but I mean, really, we should be talking about him more. He's gone 5 straight and gave up 1 3 times, 2 once to San Francisco, and then 0 against the Padres. So he had a bad start in Cincinnati, which is a hitter's park. So take that away, and he has been fantastic. So Ryan Nelson minus 110, and I do trust this lineup, so I think it's a great price. Now, the Angels are funny because they can definitely hit, but I don't think they'll be able to get to Nelson here.
No play. Again, Diamondbacks right on the teetering. Both of these teams on the teetering point of
Crazy.
Buy, sell. I think the Angels are no doubt should be selling. Maybe not any of the. Not Joe Adell, not Trout. Obviously, Trout's not going to get traded, but you trade Travis d'Arnaud, you get something reasonable back for him as a hitting catcher. And the Diamondbacks, we talked about it yesterday, all those available pitchers if they wanted to sell at the deadline. All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, Vinny Magliulo joins us. We'll check in with Vinny. It's been a few weeks, see what's going on NFL action-wise. Caitlin Clark is back as well, see how that impacts WNBA handle and more when we get back. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
Football contest sign-up season is here, and you don't want to miss out on the action. With millions of dollars on the line each and every week in the world's biggest football contest, there's only one proxy to trust, footballcontest.com. Maddie and Tony have set the gold standard for football contest proxy services with 20 years of experience and over 13 million in winnings for their clients. All you have to do is get to Vegas between now and the start of football season to sign up in person, and they do the rest, making sure your picks are entered every week. Whether you want to play in the Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, Super Contest Gold, or the new Super Contest College Contest, Maddie and Tony have you covered. Their new website has everything you need to know about these football contests and more, including how you can reserve the best proxy in the business. Experience matters, so go with the pros at footballcontest.com, the gold standard proxy service.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Oops.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks again for jumping in the chat, JR. We appreciate all your trends. Yankees 11 overs in a row. Roger Long has jumped in with some of his alt plays that he is going with today. Happy Friday once again. And as always, our Fridays are brought to you by footballcontest.com. If you want to enter any football contest this summer, you got to go with the pros, footballcontest.com. They have the most experience. Visit proxy.footballcontest.com. Use the promo code ALEX for a special offer from our good friends Maddie and Tony. Man, it is already July. It is time, Benny, to sign up for all of our big contests here. It's almost football season.
It's here, about 50 days away from college. And by the way, they do a good job.
Sure do.
I have to tell you, football proxies. They do. Matt and his team, very good. So convenient. And they've been very successful.
I was going to say the disembodied voice until we see the body here.
There I am.
Of course, is Vinny Magliulo on the far side.
Going
of the
professor
desk.
look today.
Yeah, known. Well,
With the cheaters.
Well, again, is the Kansas State class on a yearly basis already, right?
That's right.
I mean, our friends
Kansas State, UNLV, University of Utah. Yeah. I kind of spread myself around. I don't have one conference bias.
Well, you got two Big 12s in the Mountain West on that one.
Yeah.
So, Vinny, first off, it's good to see you again.
Good to be
see you.
back. Sorry you missed last week.
It's all good. It's all good. You had to get your eyes taken.
Had to get the retina squared away and make sure that I'm seeing -3 instead of +3.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a difference.
Oh, that's a good middle. That's a good middle you just created for us.
We can't. I don't have a problem getting. Listen, middles happen, but it can't happen due to a lack of sight.
You just mentioned football's 50 days away. You're going to again claim that I am rooting for you guys to lose the 3.5 threes as usual, but
natural.
You're
on the other side of the counter. You should be rooting that way.
We'll go to the NFL stuff in a little bit, but I want to start with the summer league first, Vinny, because look, this was really up until probably about a decade ago, really not a huge event. It has turned into a monstrous event here in Las Vegas. And you guys, of course, have every game up as you did yesterday, and we'll have all tournament long. Just how does the action go on the summer league here?
So good question, Jeff. I have to be honest with you. Summer league action is good. Now we don't take the same limits as we do during the NBA, right? I mean, there's a lot of rookies. There are some second and even third year players looking to refine their game, to become more of a factor and get more playing time, right? Which translates into more money down the road. And I think, by the way, for those handicapping, that's not a real secret. So for people that follow it, what they'll look for are teams, are rosters with some more experience. And when you say experience, when you get to a summer league, which is predominantly rookies and second-year players, if you've got a team that has several third and fourth-year players too, that's something that you want to take into consideration. So, not the same limits. Numbers move a lot quicker. I mean, you can see today we've got a game between the Heat and the Hawks went from 5 to 2.5. Right, that's a pretty significant move. Although in recent years with load management, we've seen that during the regular season as well. But again, lower limits, quicker movement, but a lot more participation too. And the thing about it is that the folks that are betting this are not just betting it pre-flop or prior to going to the games. And the games are drawn pretty well. Again, they're here in Las Vegas. And anytime events are in Las Vegas, we can always, see 20 to 25% more handle. It's here. People like to go to events, and if they have a little skin in the game, then they're going to play it. But the other part is that not just the locals, but the folks that are visiting here and going to these games are betting on their mobile apps. And again, just for kind of a public service announcement out there, if you're not a Nevada resident, you can still open a mobile account and utilize it while you're within the confines of the state. The geofencing technology takes care of that. So, and again, you can fund it while you're here, and then you can close it out, or maybe just leave a minimal amount when you leave town, and then come back. So it's pretty convenient, and that's where a lot of the action takes place on the Summer League.
Benny, I haven't been out there in years now. I do plan to go next week. Have you been out there to Thomas and Mack? I
haven't been to this this year's yet, but I've been, and I have to tell you, Alex, it's good. It's a good atmosphere. You get a really good look. You get a look at the coaching too, and you're going to see the depth of some of these teams, which is what you want to take into consideration. We've obviously gone through the draft. We've seen trades, some free agent signings and things like that. But what's going to come into play, especially for some teams that are going to be dealing with significant injuries. I mean, first game on the board today, the Celtics, right, without Jason Tatum next year for maybe the entire season, depending on how he progresses. When you look at the Pacers, when you've got key injuries, now you really, because if you're going to zero in or you're going to follow the NBA, you want to get an idea of what type of depth these teams have. So the Summer League gives you a first-hand look at that.
WNBA-wise, Vinny, Clark came back the other day. By the way, of course, they played a 9 a.m. Pacific game, so that I'm sure helped things for the general public coming and betting these games. They're back in action tonight. They play in Atlanta. Actually, it's only one. Dream have already won in Indianapolis already this year. She's back. Handle, Vinny, I would imagine, will go up tonight because of that. Well,
no question. I mean, she came back. This is her second game back from yet another injury, and I mean, she's had Caitlin Clark's had a rough go of it injury wise this year. Kind of struggled the other night. I think she played about 25, 26 minutes. You could tell she's got to get her game legs back, get game fit, right? So figures to play a little bit more and a little better today. Game did open 2. It's down to 1, but I suspect we'll see Indiana money. And anytime Caitlin Clark is playing, the reality is, look, and the other part is there's props for Caitlin Clark tonight. Total points scored in the game, rebounds, assists, 3-point field goals made. Caitlin Clark drives WNBA business. There's a lot of talent in the league. She's brought a lot of credibility. There's a lot of great players besides her, but she's certainly the driving force. Not only behind the betting handle, but when you look at everything that's adjusted for these ladies, and deservedly so. More money's being put their way and dedicated their way. More TV coverage, certainly better travel arrangements and accommodations. So, credit her, credit the league, and it's good. But it's good for business too in our world.
Vinny, I gotta ask you about this. And sorry, Ryan, we didn't talk about this before the show. A lot of big moves happening in the NHL, maybe none bigger than Mitch Marner coming to the Vegas Golden Knights. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Alex, I'll tell you what. I think it's a big move for the Knights, and the Knights are always active, right? I mean, Kelly McCrimmon is definitely he's not bashful. I don't think the Knights are done. Actually, I think what they did not only with the Marner signing, but with the trade with Nashville, I think has given them some more depth a little bit more youth, which they needed, and most importantly, some speed, right? I think they were exposed, particularly on the blue line, from a pace standpoint, and not only with Edmonton, but even when in the first round matchup against Minnesota, and the Knights did win that. So I don't quite think that they're done. I think they're still going to make some moves to shore up or address some combinations on the blue line, and I think they're going to look to adding some goalie depth as well. So keep an eye on a guy named Elvis who plays for I believe Columbus right now. Don't be shocked if the Knights stay busy and continue to make some moves. I think there's some other teams, obviously, in the West. Transition, you want to see what's going to happen, particularly from a cap standpoint. Dallas and a coaching change in Dallas, trying to get that locker room back on track, but they've got some cap issues. Edmonton, not a lot. They haven't done a whole lot. I mean, they've got to shore up some defense and their goaltending as well. In the East, I would say that the Rangers have improved themselves with some free agent moves. I think Carolina has improved themselves. But until they're dethroned, the Panthers are the team to beat, not only in the East, but overall. Solid organization, pretty much intact. One of, if not the best playoff goaltender presently. And so I think the Panthers are still, they're still going to be a factor for sure.
Good. I'm going to go off the board too real quick,
Go
actually.
ahead. Fire away.
Well, Wimbledon finals are over the weekend. Alcaraz has already advanced.
Yes.
On the men's side, Sinner is a break away from actually KOing Djokovic.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, Anisimova and Swiatek is the women's final, Vinny. I know that you guys start putting these up as they go later. I would imagine, especially with the American Anisimova in there tomorrow, that we'll see a little extra handle on that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and again, when you get to the quarters and the semis, and again with an American involved, now here we are in the finals. Definitely going to see some more action on it for sure. So the tennis has been great. I mean, you've got some. It's kind of I guess you could say, particularly on the men's side, maybe it's a passing of the torch, right? With Alcaraz and Sinner, Djokovic. I mean. He's one of the greatest. Maybe some folks say the greatest of all time. But Sinner and Alcaraz set up for another head-to-head matchup, which is right in this era. In these last couple of years, this is the matchup that a lot of folks enjoy seeing. Asimova against Swiatek will be a lot of fun. Swiatek will be obviously the favorite there, but. Asimova's a great story, and she's got appeal.
If Sinner holds against Djokovic 4 straight Grand Slam final appearances, of course, we know what happened in the French in that epic match where Sinner had a 2-0 lead, and then Alcaraz in that 5.5-hour marathon came back and won.
And I think he was a point. He was a match point away, right?
Triple match point in the third set.
So
no, it's craziness that
he's
match.
not beat. He's yet. Here's the thing too. Sinner has yet to beat. I think he's 0-5 or 0-6 against Alcaraz in finals, if I'm not mistaken, or in head-to-head matchups. If I'm not, I know he's. I don't think Sinner has beaten Alcaraz yet. So different surface here. We'll see what happens.
Well, on the grass as opposed to the clay for Alcaraz already there, and Sinner's only needs to hold serve. It looked like Djokovic just held it serve 5-4 in the third set.
Okay.
Vinny. You mentioned at the beginning of this, 50-plus days.
That's for college. That's for college football.
Hey, look, the NFL's less than 2 months away now.
And the NFL, and they go to camp next week, right?
So a lot of people, the Lions are already in because they play in less than 3 weeks now in the Hall of Fame game against the Chargers. But Vinny, just week 1 action, futures wise, wherever you want to take it here.
Yeah.
What have the people been betting in the NFL now that we're We're approaching. We're on approach. We're officially on approach now to the NFL
Yes,
season.
it's here, and for all intents and purposes, I mean, this is when people start getting more involved. And again, the coverage will increase, and with the coverage increasing within camps, then the handle will increase. Now, if you look at the handle, week one, again, we break this down during the course of the year. Week one is one of the highest handle regular season weeks of the year. Why? Well, it's no real secret, right? You're booking these games for several months, right? And you've got visitors that are coming all during the course of the summer because they may not be here for week one. You've got locals as well that are getting involved. So when you look at the handle in the past, I'd say 5 days, and when you look at the handle for this weekend on this, with people making their wagers in advance, it's going to exceed what we've seen so far for the first month, and that's no real surprise because again, it's getting more attention. People have paid attention to trades and signings and things like that. So as the summer goes on, we'll see more handle. Hall of Fame game, majority of that will come in when we get to it on that week. Okay, and then by the way, the Hall of Fame game is the 31st. It's a pick'em, right? Chargers, Lions. It's going to go back and forth between one and
people bet the under on the day of the game.
Yeah, and it's probably the lowest total of NFL total of it's looks like an Army total, doesn't it? When you look
it's Army Navy
or an Iowa total. But then now we've also got the divisions up too. So we'll start seeing on futures. Yes, your people's favorite team. A lot of fans will get involved with their favorite team to win the Super Bowl, win the conference. A little bit of public money on the divisions, but more, I think, professionals as they start really breaking teams down and not only looking at the teams and what they did in the offseason, but look at schedules. So a good example of that is when you look at the NFC West, right, where the Niners and the Rams are both near the top, right? So you got the Rams they opened at plus 150 at 3-2. They're now plus 140. The Niners at plus 160. They drew, so that was 8-5. They're now 3-2. Plus $1.50 there. I have to tell you, a team that's going to get some action there is going to be the Cardinals. In fact, they've already gotten it. They opened at 5-1. They're a little better than 4-1 right now. Seahawks are going to be the long shot. A lot more questions, but the thing people are breaking down. Look at the Rams, right? Okay, a good team. We saw them really play very well last year. Could have beaten the Eagles, right? I mean, they gave the Eagles all they could handle in that last game. Solid defense, veteran quarterback. Adams, they add Adams. I mean, they lose Kupp, but they add Adams. You could say, well, Adams is probably a bit more healthier than during the course of the season. But what are you concerned about with the Rams? Their travel. I think they've got one of the top 2 or 3 travel distances. They're going to go. They have a lot of trips cross country this year compared to the Niners, who have a 4th place schedule. So schedule wise, I think you look at those two because they're at the top of the division. An edge scheduling goes to the Niners, but their questions, are abound as well, particularly at quarterback, and they lose their Swiss Army knife in Deebo Samuel, right, who's now in Washington. So, but those are the things too that yes, some fans will look at, but more sophisticated bettors will look to see where the value is in the divisions compared to conference and Super Bowl.
The Niners schedule, like you said, it is on paper, and again, you can't go into the season off a previous year's strength of schedule. Too much stuff changes. Now you can go off of, hey, what are the average win totals of the teams that they have? And the Niners have one of the lowest averages of the opponent's win totals in the NFL.
Correct.
Going into the year, they're in the bottom 3, which would make it a top 3 easiest schedule based off that. You mentioned the Rams. If the Chargers weren't going to Brazil, the Rams would travel the most distance of anyone in the NFL.
Chargers,
Which, by the way, the Rams,
interesting. Both LA teams have the most travel.
no, the only reason the Chargers went ahead of them was because they go to Sao Paulo in week 1 and lose a home game in the division against Kansas City. I would be furious if I was the Chargers. But granted, I have no home field advantage anyway, so why not go to Brazil at this point? But it's, Vinny, I'll just say that Cardinal thing is interesting in that division because we talked about Arizona 2 years ago being one of the worst teams we've ever seen going into the season, and they ended up just being a normal bad NFL team that played their behinds off for 60 minutes. Last year they improved. It just wasn't quite enough to get over the hump.
Right, beat some playoff teams last year, right? They did. Yeah.
And now it's interesting that now this is when people are taking the bite of the apple here, where the Niners look down. I think the Seahawks are probably not a playoff team again. And the Rams, where, look, to me, all signs point to LA in that division. I think you made me pick today, they would be my representative out of the NFC if I'm not taking Philadelphia. But you mentioned it, travel and almost a 40-year-old quarterback as well. And Matthew Stafford has trouble staying healthy the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, the key for them, and we know their defense is good, is their offensive line going to hold up? They need to protect Matthew Stafford, right? Again, McVay and his staff, terrific coaching staff, let's face it. And as an organization, they continue to really, I have to tell you, they're one of the best teams when it comes to the draft, when in identifying and drafting quality talent in every round. So
I started this segment by talking about footballcontest.com, best proxies.
Mm-hmm.
For the contest here at the South Point, you don't need a proxy because it's just the first weekend.
That's it.
How's it going so far?
Very good, Alex. The jackpot parlay card, which is no points. It's week 1. You pick just straight up. Whoever has the most wins. It's a $5 card. You bet as many cards as you want, and it's $25,000 guaranteed. Now everything above that goes into the pool, and every year that it's been offered here at the South Point, that jackpot prize goes through 30,000, and it's right around we usually average between 35 and 40. So again, as many cards as you want, just pick the most winners, and if there's a tie, then we split. I think last year two or three folks split the jackpot parlay card. So again, that will also increase. We've had them up. And they're up, and you see people grabbing, stacks of them at a time. So we've got plenty of them. We continue to print plenty of them, and it's a lot of fun. As you mentioned, no takeout, no vig. It's a lot of, you don't have to start handicapping, who's this points and this. There's enough to deal with that. And the other part, Alex, too. I'm glad you brought up. We continue to talk about football because we've got the divisions, we've got the conference and the Super Bowl that we talked about. We've got regular season wins for every NFL team. We've got yes or no to make the teams to make the playoffs. And as we get further into this month, and Chris Andrews will be back next week, we'll start talking about some more college offerings and regular season wins and games of the year.
You're going to have to really figure out a prop like last year where Ohio State and Georgia was the natural versus the field. There's nothing natural about anything this year.
Yeah, it's pretty wide open, and Ohio State. In fact, I think when you look at it, Ohio State is not actually they're up there and they're not. But I think Penn State is probably when you look at what they return, when you look at the odds to win the Big Ten Conference. You can make a case for James Franklin. I mean, there's the trepidation I think a lot of people have, right, with James Franklin. So they though have the most coming back, particularly at the skill and key positions. So we've got to. I try to identify will it be two teams. Well, we're always. Thinking back there, and we'll figure out a good prop to come up with. A few years ago, it was, multiple teams, but I think we'll figure out something, and we'll make it fun for people to think about and bet.
Before we take a break, Vinny, I just have to ask you, because you won't be in before this starts next week in Northern Ireland. Open Championship gets going. You guys have had odds up for about a month. How's everything gone with that?
Good. Everybody's watching it, and everybody we took advantage. We took a page out of the Masters when it comes to the majors, putting them up further in advance. And again, the Masters is still the number one bet golf event. The PGA now rivals the British Open or the Open because of it's not going up against football. It's much earlier, right? Years ago, it was the last major, and it was always going up against football. So you've got the Masters, you've got the U.S. Open, and you've got the Open and the PGA. So, but a lot of interest in it. A lot of folks are paying attention to what's happening over in Europe this week to kind of get a glimpse. And again, it's one of the highest wagered golf events that we see. And I'll be with a bunch of colleagues and buddies this week. We'll do a little pool, little draft ourselves at Oasis here in town to make sure we're paying extra close attention.
All right, there we go. As always, hey, look, those drafts you do always. I know
they're great. Great get-togethers.
At the very least. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, trivia answer, whiteboard, wrap it up on a Friday right here, Sports by the Book.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the Book. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
In Sports by the Book, South Point Studio, wrapping things up on a Friday. Here's the trivia question today. The only Stanley Cup final to date that has been held in the month of July, concluded on this date in 2021. Who were the two teams that were in that cup final, and what were their seeds in their division in the 2021 playoffs? Of course, that was Tampa over Montreal, which would normally be a regular divisional matchup. It's the first time since the 70s that two teams that would end up in the same conference would play for the Cup final, because they did it a little differently then. Of course, Montreal fell in 5. Tampa won the second of their second consecutive COVID Cups. And the Lightning were the 3 in the Central, and the Montreal Canadiens were by far by points, the worst team in the tournament, and made it all the way to the final, getting through the Canadian pod and then beating Vegas in a massive upset in the semifinals. Lightning beat the Islanders in 7, which ended up being the most competitive series Tampa had en route to their second consecutive cup. Nick gets the win, so Nick and JR are tied at 3, heading in to the second full week of July next week. So there you go.
Both lucky that Vinny wasn't in the chat. He was ready.
Let's go to the whiteboards here, or the whiteboard. Alex has parsed it down a little bit, but still an active board here on a Friday.
7th place. I have been trying to narrow it down to 4 or 5, but remember, we have something new today, taking the run line with a couple teams here. So starting off with the Nationals, did not look good yesterday, but the day before, their offense really got going against the Cardinals. I think they can do it again here today against the Brewers, taking that 1.5 minus 120. Going with the Phillies with Ranger Suarez on the bump, minus 160. I'll probably do a little run line on my own for that one. Tampa Bay minus 120. I'm just going to go first 5 here. We do have Rasmussen, also be with Joe Boyle, and then Hunter Dobbins. For the Red Sox, has not pitched in a while, so I'm going with the Rays. Mariners plus 1.5, minus 110. That is, of course, against the Tigers. And SKUBAL, just low total. I think they can keep it close. Rangers, team total. Hope that offense can stay hot. We're going over 3.5. Pirates and Twins, Skenes, and Joe Ryan. We're going under 3 in the first 5. And then Diamondbacks, minus 140. Wait, that's a little high there, eh? That's the first 5, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to go full game there. Diamondbacks, minus 110.
There we go. That's what we got here for Friday. That's a loaded card for Alex White. All right, we're back on Monday. We're going to be We're going to start our NFL previews next week as well. Home Run Derby on Monday. We'll preview that. Open Championship previews also next week. Vinny, thank you.
Good to be with you.
Always
both.
a pleasure.
Good job.
Don Rayson's coming your way later this afternoon as well here at the studio. So be on the lookout for that. Ryan, Jerry, Vince, and Sean, Drew Dog, and Ann, have a good weekend. Alex, you as well.
You too.
Everyone out there in the chat, thank you for joining us. We will see you again on Monday at 10 a.m. right here at Sports by the Book South Point Studio.